Hello, everyone. Welcome to Diego Knows. I'm Diego, and today I'm going to continue talking about Zack Snyder. This is my Zack Snyder review part two. When I left off in part one, we were still talking about Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Just Ass. And just to finish that up, like I said, I didn't like Superman in there. I didn't like Batman in there. Wonder Woman shows up, but Wonder Woman, she's there just to be there. But we also get a glimpse of her. We get a glimpse of Cyborg. We get a glimpse of Aquaman and the Flash. Now, the way these characters look, like they showed us Aquaman, Jason Momoa, okay? And we see him for a couple of seconds here. And he's covered in tattoos. He's got long hair. He's got a beard. And he's got a pitchfork. And he's like, I guess he destroys the camera with it because it's an underwater camera. And then you see Wonder Woman, okay? And then Wonder Woman has got this armor on. She got a shield, she got a sword. But the armor she's wearing, it's like brown or like gold and brown and a little bit of blue. Not too much blue though. I mean, it's just like a navy blue type thing. And it looks terrible. It looks very practical. Like if they were doing like a movie about Troy or something, she'd fit right in. And it looks realistic. It does. It looks like armor that somebody would wear in battle back like during ancient Greece. It does look that way, but the problem is that Wonder Woman is a comic book, just like Superman. Okay, and the comic books have color, and Wonder Woman has color in her costume. Okay, she has very bright. She has red, gold, and blue. Okay, these colors are prominent for her. Okay, that's what she looks like in the comic books. And if you're going to put her in a movie, those colors got to be displayed. Zack Snyder's not doing that. He's not showing these characters the way they're supposed to look. Big problem that I have with Zack Snyder. Not only are the characters not acting the way they should, they're not looking the way they should. Like I said in the last video about Superman, navy blue, maroon, and a little bit of orange, that's not Superman's colors at all. Batman, he's in that fat suit, with the gray and the black, which is better, I guess. But that's the suit from like The Dark Knight Returns. That's the suit that Batman wears when he's in his 60s. When he hasn't worn the costume in 20 years, and he comes out of retirement to take on the bad guys in Gotham. But now he's an old man and he's doing it. That's what he looks like then. That's not what he looked like when he was young, And Zack Snyder's given us a 55-year-old Batman with gray hair. I mean, come on. If we're gonna if this is gonna start off a Justice League movie, don't you think we need a Batman who's got at least a good 10 years ahead of him instead of like 2 or 3? At least 10, 15 years ahead of him. Maybe a 35-year-old Batman instead of a 55-year-old Batman. That's just a bad choice. I mean, I know people age. But there was no reason we had to get Ben Affleck. You could have gotten someone else, So I didn't like that at all. And then of course Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, she's just not colorful. I get realistically she wouldn't be. But this is comic books. This is a superhero movie. Like you're supposed to give us a little bit of fun here. Everything's muted. The colors are all muted. Any sort of like pop-up color, like a yellow or a red, gets muted to an orange or a maroon. Any blue gets muted to a navy blue that looks almost black. If you look at the filters for the screen, everything is like a dark, somber blue. Like, you ever seen The Matrix? When they're in The Matrix, you notice that everything was kind of grayish and silverish and greenish? That was to let you know you're in The Matrix. Okay, well, this movie is all like bluish and grayish, and which is very muted. It's very like, there's no life here. There's no liveliness here, Look at the Avengers, man. The green of the Hulk, the red of Thor's cape, the gold of Iron Man's armor. These colors pop out at you. This is a comic book, This is a comic book. This is fun. This is what it's like to read a comic book. And they're giving us like this dark, muted thing. And it's just like, no, it doesn't work for me. So I didn't like that at all. I already told you Lex Luthor was a piece of shit. Didn't need to be in there. He didn't act like Lex Luthor. And at the end, he's like, they shaved his head. That's why he's bald, because the prison guards shaved his head. Like, why would they do that? Were they going to electrocute him or something? And then Batman meets him in the prison. I guess he can just walk in and out of there and into a fucking prison. And he doesn't brand Lex Luthor. Oh my God, he does not brand Lex Luthor. He just warns them, and the snot's coming out of Luthor's nose. It's just he's like, beep, 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 beep. I mean, that's not Lex Luthor. This is a fucking idiot. This is a retard. This is the Riddler. And then of course Superman dies. Why do we kill Superman? He wasn't even acting like Superman yet. If you're gonna kill off a character, you got to make the audience love that character first. And I'm sorry, for as good looking as Henry Cavill is, and as good of an actor he is, okay, he was just badly written, okay? Whoever wrote this fucking script doesn't know what the fuck, they've never read a comic book, okay? Superman does not act this way. He's not depressed. He's not somber. He's not melancholy. He's not confused. He knows who he is. He knows what he's trying to do. He's trying to inspire people. Think Christopher Reeve from in the original Superman movie. Remember when he saves that cat for that little girl? And he gives her the cat. He asks her what the cat's name. Oh, the cat's name is Frisky. Hi, Frisky. Remember he pets the cat, then he flies away. He says, like, have a good night. And he flies. That's Superman. He's a friend. He's friendly. Yes, he's the most powerful man on earth, but he's not going to come at you that way. Okay? He's not confused. He's not crying. He's not screaming. Ah! He's not screaming. Okay? If you look at the old Superman movies, the Christopher Reeve one, Christopher Reeve only screams once. And that's why it's such a powerful scene, because he only screams once, okay? He screams when his whole fucking life is falling apart in front of him. He doesn't scream every time someone threatens his mom, or every time someone threatens Lois, or it's just, that's not him, So, yeah, so you killed him off before we got a chance to like him, which sucks because I think Henry Cavill was a really good choice for Superman. If they'd written a better script, if Zack Snyder come up with a better script for this guy, I think he could have pulled off the friendly Superman. They tried to do that in Justice League, but I'm getting ahead of myself, all right? But they hadn't done it in Man of Steel, and they hadn't done it in Batman v Superman. So you killed him off before we even got a chance to like him. Now, when he comes back to life, first of all, there's no stakes anymore. If Superman dies in the future, it doesn't matter because he's going to come back to life. He's already done it before. So there's no stakes for Superman anymore. And the fact that we never really liked him that much to begin with means that him coming back is not a big, like, oh my God, he's back. No. Because we didn't like him that much to begin with. So the movie was a waste. Okay, now we're going to move on, all right? And that's Zack Snyder's fault. This is all Zack Snyder. Okay, next up would be Wonder Woman. Zack Snyder had he had a lot to do with that movie, but that was a Patty Jenkins movie, okay? That was all Patty Jenkins. Zack Snyder was responsible for what Wonder Woman looked like and for hiring Gal Gadot, and that's pretty much it. And I think he had approval of the script, but that's it. The rest was Patty Jenkins. I think his people might have written the script for that, My only problem with Wonder Woman was I think it was a really good movie, but they muted the colors. Like I said, just like they did in Batman v Superman, it was too dark. She had brown and gold and a little tiny bit of blue, which looked black. Didn't like that. But I think Gal Gadot did a pretty good job. Wonder Woman with an accent. It kind of makes sense, although it's an Israeli accent, and Wonder Woman should really have a Greek accent. But, when you remember that Wonder Woman is, she's been with human beings for 100 years, you would think that, she would have picked up an accent by now. Or an American accent. Well, I guess she wasn't American. Or maybe she was living in France. She had a French accent. Or, she's a Greek girl. She should have a Greek accent, But she has an Israeli accent. That's neither here or there. She looks the part. She can play it. She can act the part of Wonder Woman very well. I think Wonder Woman should be just a little bit more muscular, because, Gal Gadot's got, I'm sorry, but, I know she's in shape, but her legs are a little skinny. That's the biggest problem I had with Gal Gadot, was that she looked like a runway model. She didn't look like an athlete, okay? And Wonder Woman is an athlete, okay? So her legs should be a little bit more muscular. And Gal Gadot's kind of got like skinny legs. I'm sorry, but I noticed it. She's wearing a skirt. I noticed her legs. I'm looking, okay? Her legs were a little skinny. Other than that, she did a good job. She did a good job as Wonder Woman. She played it off, the sympathy. Her acting is really good. We're on point. But I didn't like the colors. And also, for those of you who don't know, Wonder Woman was created in World War II, not World War I. There were no superheroes created in World War I. Okay, they hadn't been invented yet. Okay, the reason they put her in World War I was because Captain America was also in World War II. World War II was the golden age of comic books. Superman came out in 1938. And then 3 years later, we were at war, okay? So that was the golden age of comic books. All these superheroes were being created like crazy. That's when Batman came out in 39. Captain America came out in 41. Wonder Woman came out in 1940. All the superheroes started being created around World War II, not World War I. But since Captain America focused on World War II, they decided to move Wonder Woman's creation, a good 20 years earlier. So they moved it to World War I, which never happened, by the way. So yeah, she would not have fought in World War I. She would have fought in World War II. Okay. So I got that out of the way. It's a pet peeve of mine, but I got it out of the way. Okay. Wonder Woman had never fought in World War I. Okay. All right. So there's that. Moving right along. The next thing they had after Wonder Woman was Justice League. Yeah. And Justice League was Zack Snyder, but it's not all him, okay? Now, we all know the story about Joss Whedon, okay? This is what really happened, okay? What really happened was Man of Steel was a decent start, but it wasn't a home run, okay? That's why they decided to go with, Batman v Superman. Originally, they were going to do Man of Steel 2, but DC said, no, we got to catch up to Marvel. We got to have a group movie, right away. So they took away Man of Steel from him, and they gave him Batman v Superman. Make this thing work. And they threw in Death of Superman. They threw in the Justice League in there. They threw in Dark Knight Returns. I mean, they threw in way too much for one movie, okay? So it wasn't all Zack Snyder's fault. But he was in charge. He was in charge. So he is responsible, okay? And like I said, Batman v Superman didn't do that well. I mean, it made money. I think it made like $800 million at the box office. But it cost like $600 with promotion, with all the publicity, it cost like $600 million to make it, to pay everybody, and then to promote the movie was like so they didn't make as much money. I mean, Deadpool made more money than Justice League. Okay, it wasn't that good. I went to the theater to go see it, and I was so excited. Justice League movie, oh my god, And then I looked at Rotten Tomatoes, which is a bullshit anyway. But Rotten Tomatoes was putting it down. I mean, it was just like the Rotten Tomatoes score was the critics were saying it was great, but the audience said it was bad. And, always go with the audience, okay? Because critics are getting paid by the movie studios, okay? They're not going to give bad reviews, all right? Because they know damn well they're not going to get invited to any premieres, or they're not going to hang out with celebrities if they do that. So, so don't believe any of the Rotten Tomato reviews. They've manipulated it already. The guy that used to be the president of Disney is now in charge of Rotten Tomatoes, okay? So they are most definitely biased towards the big corporations, all right? So don't believe anything Rotten Tomatoes says. That's neither here nor there. The point is, Rotten Tomatoes said it was the critics said it was great. The audience said it sucked. Well, I saved my opinion until I saw the movie. I saw the movie, and it sucked. Okay, it sucked. It was a piece of shit. It really was. They tried to do way too much in here. We've already seen Batman. Batman comes back, but now he's more jokey, and his costume's a little bit brighter. Like, he's cracking jokes. Batman doesn't fucking crack jokes, but he's cracking jokes. Okay, they're trying to make this into the Super Friends. Okay, Wonder Woman's there, acting more Wonder Woman-y. She was okay. I didn't have any fault with her in the movie. Aquaman, we're getting introduced to Aquaman now, okay? That is not fucking Aquaman, okay? Nothing against Jason Momoa, okay? I mean, he was great as Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones, okay? I did not see his piece of shit Conan movie. Nobody went to go see that, okay? But I get it, okay? I get what the appeal, okay? He's a very good-looking guy. Women like Jason Momoa, okay? He's a sex symbol. I get it, okay? But that's not Aquaman, okay? Aquaman doesn't look like that. He's not covered in tattoos. That's Aqua Bro, okay? That's not Orin, the king of the seven seas, okay? That's not Arthur Curry, okay? The king of Atlantis, okay? That's the dude who sells you weed at the beach, in Hawaii, okay? That's not fucking Aquaman, all right? He's like a biker, and first of all, he gets his power from the water. He lives in the water. Why the fuck is he chugging fucking whiskey, okay? Why is he chugging alcohol? Okay, that's going to dehydrate. That's going to take the water out of his body, which he would be more sensitive to than a human being. So that makes no sense right there. Like, he hangs out at biker bars. What biker bars? What the fuck, dude? Did the screenwriter live in Florida when he wrote this script? He's at a biker bar writing the script, and he looks out, sees the bikers, and he sees the beach. Oh, yeah, Aquaman. Aqua Bro. Yeah. Dig it, my man. My man. Yeah. Dig it. That's not fucking Aquaman. Okay, that's Aqua Bro. That's biker Aquaman. Now, if you look at the superhero, there's a character in DC called Lobo. If you look up Logo, that's Jason Momoa, okay? They should have gotten him to play Lobo. He is the biker superhero. He's the space biker, Even though he's in outer space, he's the biker, like a biker here, like Sons of Anarchy, but in outer space. Okay, that's Lobo. He's got the fucking long hair. He's got the tattoos. He's got the eyes. He's a fucking biker in space. That would have been Jason Momoa. That would have been perfect. But no, they decided to make this fucker 6'7", tattooed up, beard with who fucking who frosts his hair blonde with a perm. Make him Aquaman. Yeah, my man, dig it. No, that's not Aquaman. I don't know what the fuck that is. That's not Aquaman. That's somebody else. That's Aqua Bro. I don't call him Aquaman. That's Aqua Bro. All right, that was Zack Snyder's idea. That's fucking Rob Zombie with a pitchfork. That's not fucking Aquaman. But we're supposed to believe that's Aquaman, and that's how they played it. All right, and then you got the Flash. I'm sorry, man. Barry Allen is heterosexual. Okay, he's got a wife. He's got kids. In the comic books, he's kind of a nerdy guy, a little bit, but he's the Flash, the fastest man alive. He's not some closet homosexual. Now, but he's no. Ezra Miller is playing. I know Ezra Miller is gay in real life, okay, and I don't care about that. That doesn't matter. I'm talking about the character of Barry Allen, the character that he got paid to play because he's an actor, okay. He's playing a straight guy, but he's not fooling anybody. He's not fooling anybody. He's not fooling me. They're trying to make the Flash, who's a police scientist, not some fucking loser who's got to apply for a job walking dogs because he can't hold a normal job. That's not Barry Allen. Barry Allen's a police scientist. He's smart. He's not some fucking, guy who's socially awkward. He's a little reserved, but he's got friends. He's got a girlfriend. It's not like he's this outcast that doesn't do well with people, like this guy is. He's not some socially awkward motherfucker who doesn't know what brunch is. And he's not some closet homosexual. I'm sorry. He acts like a closet homosexual. He does. He comes across that way. If I saw him with a girl, I would be like, no, dude, this is a beard. This is not real. Why can't he act like a heterosexual? He doesn't act like one. He's scared. He's shy. He's socially awkward. He has no self-esteem. I mean, that's not the Flash. That's not the Flash. This guy's one of the most powerful men on the planet. I mean, this guy can run so fast that he can go through time. Okay? That's how powerful he is. And yet he's clumsy in this movie. He's clumsy. He's socially awkward. He's bumping into things. He's accidentally touching people. He's tripping over himself all the fucking time. He says these socially awkward things. He makes these stupid ass jokes and puns. It's like, this is not the Flash. I know the character they got. I know the character they wrote. I understand who this character is, but they created a character. Okay, we got to have the nerdy guy who makes the jokes, who's kind of beta male-ish, who's, always scared and nervous all the time, socially awkward. We got to write that character now. Which one of these superheroes should it be? I picked the Flash. You see what I mean? They wrote the character first, and then they picked which superhero was going to play it. That's not how you write a story. You got to get the character first, the Flash, and then you write this personality. Okay? But you got to know the personality of the character first. They didn't do that. DC doesn't do that. I just recently saw Peacemaker, the new show on HBO Max. It's the same fucking thing. Okay? They already created these characters, but they didn't know which superhero was going to play those characters. So they just picked out these characters at random. Okay, you're going to be Judo Master, you're going to be Peacemaker, you're going to be that character, and you're going to be that character. But the characters already been written. Whoever these characters they picked already had backstories. They didn't give a fuck about that. That doesn't matter. We're creating these characters. And we're gonna create the character first, give them the personality, and then we're just gonna pick a random superhero, and put that costume on the character and call it that character. That's not how you do it. That's not how you write good stories. All right. So anyway, they did that, and the movie just didn't work. Cyborg, he was there, but he didn't really do much. He was just there to be there. Superman went in the movie. He shows up in the very beginning, gives that horrible. We all know about the mustache. Okay, the horrible mustache. That was a bullshit. Really, Henry Cavill, they couldn't get him to shave it off. Really, they could not get him to shave it off. He couldn't have worn a fake mustache while he was filming Mission Impossible. No, he had to keep that mustache on. Okay, yeah, it was bad in all sorts of ways. Now, the drama behind the story, okay, was going on. This is what happened, all right? So, now Wonder Woman was successful. Like I said, that wasn't Zack Snyder. That was Patty Jenkins, all right? Man of Steel was mediocre, but it showed promise, all right? Batman v Superman was abysmal, terrible, all right? So what the studio execs decided to do was they fired everybody and they put Jeff Johns in there, who's a comic book writer. They had him they called him chief creative officer. Like it sounds like he's a Kevin Feige, like the guy that's in charge of Marvel, but he's not. It was just a title, okay? He still had higher ups he had to answer to, you know. I think he was there because for PR reasons, they wanted a comic book guy, a guy who's been known to write good comic books. They wanted him on the set, and they gave him a title as producer, even though he had no experience making movies, you know. And they put him in there to be like the official like encyclopedia of superheroes, you know, to show the fans that, hey, we know what we're talking about. We got an expert, a DC Comics expert right here on set at all times to make sure we're doing this the right way. And obviously that wasn't the case. I remember a lot of people were excited when Jeff Johns got hired, you know, because he's from the comic book, he's from my world. I know who he is because I read a lot of his stories. I read Green Lantern First Flight. You know, he recently came out with The Three Jokers, which was really good. You know, I've read a lot of his stories. Infinite Crisis was really good. I love that one. That was a really good story. He wrote that, you know. And he wrote the Sinestro Corps War, which if you're a Green Lantern fan, oh my God, that was so freaking good. You know, so he's a good comic book writer. So I was excited at first, but then I remember that he was also a producer on Green Lantern, the Ryan Reynolds one, and that movie was a piece of shit. Okay, that movie was just a piece of shit, and he had his fingerprints on that. All right, he had his fingerprints on that. He was involved in that. So I wasn't as excited as everyone else was when I heard he was going to be involved in the DC cinematic universe. I wasn't as excited. Okay, but he's there. What they decided to do was they didn't have any more faith in Zack Snyder. Thank God. I mean, I think Zack Snyder's a good guy. I really do. He's very respectful. He doesn't talk shit to the fans. You know, he doesn't talk shit about anybody, really. You know, I think he's a good guy. I think he's not good for making these superhero movies. But I did love 300 and I liked Watchmen, but these were like graphic novels. These weren't like established superheroes with a lot of history and a lot of pop culture, you know, cred. All right. I don't think he knows what he's doing. He doesn't understand the characters of the Justice League. He doesn't understand any of them. He sees a visual and he's got kind of an idea of who they are, and he just goes with that. All right. He erases the stuff that made these characters good. Like for example, Batman. Why would Batman use a gun? He would never use a gun because that's what killed his parents. You know, but Zack Snyder doesn't understand that. You know, Superman inspires hope. He's not depressed and confused. He doesn't understand that. You know, he's so focused on making Superman a Jesus-like figure when he's not a Jesus-like figure. You know, he's more like a Moses-like figure. You know, not Jesus. But you know, so I mean, I understand he's a nice guy. I mean, when I see him in the interviews at the conventions and stuff, he comes across as a nice guy. He really does. I mean, he's into lifting weights. He's into, you know, he works with his wife. You know, they're a husband and wife team. His wife is his producer. So, you know, he keeps it in the family. So I think he's a good guy, but he's a terrible choice for the DC cinematic universe because he does not understand these characters. Okay? And they gave him the keys to this universe, and I think they realized that they made a mistake after Batman v Superman when it did not perform nearly as well as they wanted it to. They decided to fire him. Now, that's not the story they said, okay? And I'm a father, okay? So the absolute worst thing that could happen to me was if something happened to my child. That's the absolute worst thing. Okay, and I would never wish that on anybody. Okay, and unfortunately, that is what happened to Zack Snyder while he was finishing up the Justice League. His daughter did die, and I can understand that one must be such a horrific experience. Like my mind doesn't even want to go there because I'm a parent, you know. But that happened to him, and for some reason, him and his wife decided they were going to continue and finish the movie. They were actually going to dedicate the movie to his daughter. And Warner Brothers decided, well, this is our out. We're going to use his daughter's death as the official excuse to get rid of him. Okay. Now, they had been courting Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon, I guess he had a lot of complaints. Marvel wasn't happy with Joss Whedon, even though he did Avengers and he did Avengers Endgame. He did Avengers and he did Avengers Age of Ultron. But after that, they were pissed off at him. So they let him go. They let Joss Whedon go. And of course, DC wanted to pick him up. I mean, this is the guy that did the Avengers, right? If anybody could fix Justice League, it's this guy, right? So they courted him and they said, hey, listen, you know what? If you do this Justice League movie, if you fix this Justice League movie that we already like filmed 90% of it. It's actually in post production right now, but we got to get rid of Zack Snyder because like Batman v Superman was terrible. We want you to use the skills that you use in the Avengers to make this movie a blockbuster. Because the last movie should have been a blockbuster and it wasn't. Okay, so they hired Josh Whedon. And Josh Whedon, now we know all the sexual allegations against him. You know, that he was fucking all of his actresses. You know, he calls himself this big feminist because, he invented Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So I'm a feminist. My mom raised me to be a feminist. Respect women. Believe women. Meanwhile, he's like sexually harassing all of his actresses. You know, the ones that won't sleep with him. Then he's fucking the ones that will. You know, and all this he's doing, behind his wife's back. So I guess respect all women doesn't, feminism doesn't apply to his wife because she divorced his ass, rightfully so, and took a lot of his money, rightfully so, because Josh Whedon's a piece of shit. But he called himself a feminist. He's just a nerd guy who now he's got all this power because Hollywood liked him, and now he's just trying to fuck all the girls that wouldn't fuck him in high school. Okay, that's what he is. That's what Josh Whedon is. Okay, and now all this stuff, even like actors from like the Buffy TV show from like 25 years ago are talking shit about him now. He was a pain in the ass to work with. He assaulted some people. He threatened lots of people. Nobody fucking likes Josh Whedon. Nobody likes Josh Whedon. Okay. But we didn't know this at the time. So they hired him, and they said, "Oh, Zack Snyder asked his best friend Josh Whedon to take over director duties for him because of the death of his daughter. Oh, we're gonna wish Zack Snyder a lot of luck. We hope he gets better soon." But they had no intention of rehiring him at all, or so we thought. Anyway, so Josh Whedon came in there, and he did the best. Now, if you look at the opening credits of Justice League, the 2017 version, right there's a homeless bum. Right there, and he's got a sign saying, "I tried." Okay, that's Josh Whedon telling you, "Hey, listen, they gave me this piece, they put this piece of shit on my lap, and I tried. I tried to make something out of it." He already knew this movie was going to flop. He already knew this movie sucked, and it did. The problem with Josh Whedon, he tried to make this movie, he tried to make it fun and bright like the Avengers, but the problem is the movie had already been shot. Okay, all the special effects, most of them were already done. Okay, all the principal photography was already completed. The movie's already basically in the can. All Josh Whedon could really do was do reshoots, do some editing and do some reshoots, in which they did. They spent $40 million on reshoots. He had to get all the actors back. He had to bring Ben Affleck back, and you could easily tell, when Ben Affleck was slimmer when he originally shot Justice League, and then the reshoots, he's fatter, he's got more of a double chin. Just stupid shit like that. You could tell. The CGI, for the reshoots, and that's what he did. But that's not going to save the movie. He added more jokes in there. He made the colors brighter. He made everything brighter, which should have been done from the very beginning. But Zack Snyder created a piece of shit. It was a piece of shit. Like I said, he didn't understand the characters, and no matter what Josh Whedon did, wasn't going to fix that. The foundation was already bad, and he's trying to build on top of that. It's like trying to get some really delicious frosting on a shit cake. Yeah, the frosting might taste good, but it's still a shit cake. And that's what it was. And I guess he didn't get along with Gal Gadot, and he didn't get along with Ray Fisher, so he cut out all of Ray Fisher's scenes and made him an ancillary character. He wanted to add like a groping scene for Wonder Woman, and Gal Gadot refused to film that. So he just put it in there. You got a stunt woman to do the part, just stupid stuff like that, More jokes, like the brunch joke was all Josh Whedon. And they released it, and it sucked. I went to the theater to go see it, and it sucked. It was not that great. Everybody knew it wasn't that great. There was more hype towards Batman v Superman than there was for Justice League. Okay? It's like they weren't going crazy about it, okay? The way they were going crazy for Batman v Superman. So this movie came and went. It made like $700 million, which is nothing. We got to remember, Avengers made $1.5 million. And by this time, we'd already had Avengers Age of Ultron, which made $1.3 million. Okay, so it made a little bit less. But it was well over $1 billion. Justice League didn't even do $1 billion. Not even $1 billion. They did like $700 million, something like that. So yeah, it was a bomb. When you think about all the money they spent making that movie, promoting that movie, paying all the actors, and then all the money they spent on reshoots, plus they had to pay a new director. And you class A director. It was a shit show, man. And yeah, they lost a lot of money. So after that, everybody got fired. Okay, they fired Jeff Johns, they fired everybody, and they just started all over again. They put Walter Hamada in charge, and he was coming from the Conjuring franchise. Like he made those movies, and they put him in charge of the DC Cinematic Universe. So they're playing musical chairs now. They don't know what the fuck they're doing now. Okay, so that happened, and then what was after Justice League? I don't even remember what the fuck came after Justice League. I think Aquaman. Was it Aquaman? I think it was Aquaman. So Aquaman came out next. But like I said, that wasn't Zack Snyder. That was another director. So basically, Zack Snyder fucked it up. Now Suicide Squad came out. I forgot to mention that. But Zack Snyder did not direct that movie. That was someone else. Garrett Edwards, I think, directed Suicide Squad. And of course, that was a shit show too. Zack Snyder was only involved as far as he hired everybody. He hired Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. He hired Jared Leto as Joker. He had Ben Affleck do his cameo in there. He had Will Smith as Deadshot. Amanda Waller. Like he was in charge of that part of it, but the rest of it was left to Garrett Edwards, and it wasn't a good movie. Okay, it wasn't good. Everyone keeps talking about how great Margot Robbie was as Harley Quinn. Hey, let's be honest here, okay? Anybody could have played Harley Quinn, okay? Any girl who can fake a Jersey accent can play Harley Quinn, okay? I mean, Harley Quinn is all about what she looks like, okay? Is she hot? Check. Is she white? Check. Okay, let's put some hot shorts on her, some fake tattoos. Now, imitate a Jersey accent. Boom, Harley Quinn. Anybody could have done that, okay? You'd have to pay Margot Robbie millions of dollars to do that. They hired her because she's a name. But honestly, you could have gotten any pretty girl. Any pretty white girl could have played Harley Quinn. Okay? She's not difficult to play. I could have played Harley Quinn, okay? All right? Yeah, I wouldn't look like her, but I could still do everything Margot Robbie did, all right? So it's just like, it wasn't that good. And of course, let me not even get started on Jared Leto as a Joker, okay? He's in the movie for like 5 minutes. He sucked. It was all terrible. All right, but this isn't about Suicide Squad. But Zack Snyder was involved, so he got a producer credit. So they fired him. All right. Now I'm going to end this video here, and I will continue it in part 3. Okay, in part 3, I'm going to talk about what the basis of this video series that I'm doing about Zack Snyder is. Okay, and yes, I am we're going to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League, okay, because I did see that as well. I saw all 4 hours of it. I saw it several times, okay? And I'm still holding true to my thesis. Zack Snyder ruined the DCEU, okay? Yes, Justice League, the Snyder Cut was a better movie, but I'm going to get into that in part 3, okay? So anyway, I appreciate you watching this, and thank you very much.